Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to In Ohio Country today. Joining me now is one of our fine sponsors, Jeff Brumbaugh from Brumbaugh Law. And, you know, Jeff, we're here at the beautiful Troy Chamber of Commerce, and before we get started on our topic today, let's talk a little bit about this beautiful city of Troy, and, of course, about your expanding into 3 other cities over the last 12 to 18 months.
Absolutely. We've been in Troy now for 12 years. About 4 years ago, we opened the office in Wapakoneta. I think it was last fall a year ago that we opened the office in Springfield, and then just this past June we opened an office in Marysville, and I think you were fortunate enough to do an interview with the new attorney in Marysville.
It's very exciting, and one of the things that's most important is the fact that the reason for these expansions. Let's talk a little bit about what we want to discuss today, and that's, of course, the rising cost of health care, especially for the elderly, especially for our parents and grandparents.
Absolutely. I think, first off, people aren't very aware of what those costs are, but even more importantly, they really don't know what their options are when they're starting to face these kind of costs. I mean, for nursing homes in our area, we're almost in excess of $9,000 a month. We've certainly seen some of the assisted living facilities run from anywhere from $3,000 to $7,000 a month. And then at-home care typically runs from $18 to $22 an hour. And if somebody needs 24/7 care at home, that could run into as much as $12,000 or $13,000 a month.
You know, first, under Ohio law, of course, planning can be done no matter what the circumstances are at home, correct?
I think way too many people think that it's too late at certain points in time to do any planning, and that's just absolutely not true. We can really do, in fact, the majority of our clients, somebody's already had a major change in health, whether they're still at home or they're already in a nursing home or they're somewhere in between, for instance, doing rehab at the hospital. But every one of those opportunities gives us a special chance to do planning for them.
And, of course, irregardless of what their assets are, they could have a home, they may not have a home, they could have a lot of assets or little assets. We know a lot of our farmers out there that a lot of people don't realize it, but, they may not look like a very big farm, but they may have a lot of assets. And then, of course, you have people that are living in the city that live in a modest home, but they have a lot of assets as well. It's just not whether or not they have a large number of assets or a little. There's something you can do for them.
Absolutely, and I think the common mistake that people occasionally think is that they don't have enough assets to worry about it. And I guess my response is, well, what is it that you want to protect? And if you want to try to protect all of those assets, certainly we can do the planning if we do it in the right manner under Ohio law. And sometimes that's even after somebody's had that health care change. So there are a lot of opportunities, and I think our biggest challenge is to educate the public that they have options and they don't just have to give in.
Why does this make it a very good time to reevaluate their health care costs and to get the opportunity to sit down with you and look at what it takes to plan for the future?
Well, I think more than anything else, they just need to know what their options are as much as anything else, because they face a myriad of ways that people are going to take money out of their pocket, whether it ends up being healthcare costs, probate, taxes. All those things need to be taken into consideration. And it's just important that you end up speaking with somebody that can put that whole package together so that they can figure out how to keep people out of their pockets.
And the key thing, too, is to remind our viewers out there, especially our farmer patrons, that they have options.
Exactly. And, one of the things that we've seen put out there quite a bit lately are, people that are talking a lot more about trusts and whether or not trusts will be the solution to their problem. And as a general rule, trusts are like anything else. They fit a specific niche, but a lot of times trusts aren't the answer. And there's certainly a lot less expensive options that allow the farmer in particular to keep control of their property without having to put it into one of those irrevocable trusts that are costing sometimes thousands of dollars.
Let's also remind our viewers about the quality of advice and the experience that you and your staff have to be able to answer their questions regarding their health care costs.
Well, first, I was a little bit older when I graduated from law school. I didn't actually get done with law school until 2001. But since that time, we've been doing, this is all we do. I mean, certainly we do documents like powers of attorney, healthcare powers of attorney, financial powers of attorney, those kinds of things. but they're all related with trying to help people protect their assets and do things the right way. So again, it's a very tight niche as far as those kinds of things, and so it's just important that you do speak with somebody that has a long background and a serious background in it.
It's got to give you a lot of personal satisfaction to meet with some of these families and see their eyes light up when they realize they have these options available to them, that they can protect their assets. That's got to be an exciting moment for you.
Well, I think especially, in the very beginning, the process seems to be very overwhelming to most people. And so one of the things that we do is we take that headache off of their shoulders. And I guess, there's been countless times that clients have, when they realize that it's all worked out the way that we said it was going to work out, they've been very pleased.
Jeff, even though you only have 4 locations and probably going to continue to grow, you have the experience and the expertise to travel anywhere throughout the state of Ohio. Isn't that correct?
That is right, and the one thing that we've always prided ourselves on is being able to make that house call. So we'd be happy to travel. At this point in time, I think we've traveled as far north as Seneca County, as far south as Adams County, and southern Ohio. And I think we currently have clients in about 19 counties in the state, mostly west central Ohio, but we've had occasion to go to Cleveland, we've had occasion to go to Columbus. So again, we'll make that house call, and we'll make that first visit so that it doesn't cost you any money.
Jeff, if people want more information, where should they go?
Well, certainly they can go to the website, www.brumbaughLaw.com. I think the other thing certainly is they can call any of the locations that we have, whichever one might be closest. With the 4 offices, we're trying to make it more convenient. And, we always and we're certainly considering the expansion into the rural counties and the county seats in those counties. So they can keep an eye out in the newspaper, because we'll be running those kinds of things, announcing the opening of any of those new offices. Certainly any of the phone numbers, 937-332-0138 to the Troy office, will really get the ball rolling in any of the other offices.
Jeff, really appreciate your sponsorship in Ohio Country today, and once again want to thank you for joining us today.
Thanks a lot, Dan.
And once again, if you want more information, you can always check us out on the web at In Ohio Country Today, and we'll have a link to his site as well. We'll be back with more In Ohio Country Today right after this.